Hello, welcome back to the channel. If you're new around here, my name's Jose, and in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 things that I think you should keep in mind when it comes time to buying your racing simulator. The first thing that I always ask customers is what their goals are. Usually they don't know, or they have some sort of an idea of where they want to go. So it usually takes a little bit of time to figure that out. We work with a lot of people, everybody from professional drivers to gentleman drivers to complete enthusiasts that are just getting into this with not really knowing much about it. So it takes a lot of education on our part to get the customer to understand what they're getting themselves into. It's very easy to go down the route of hardware that's very expensive. It's the most commercial hardware out there. You know, companies do marketing for a reason, and that ends up working out in most situations, because I even fell into that where I started buying hardware based on stuff that I thought was pretty. It wasn't until much years later then I started realizing my goals of, okay, I want to be able to compete, I want to be able to be in something comfortable, and I want to be in something that's going to last a long time. So if you're overwhelmed by all of the options out there on simulators, start looking at everything and pick up the phone, give me a call, send a little message here on YouTube, and I'll be happy to have a conversation with you. There's so much out there, and I'm really happy to share all that knowledge. The next thing that a lot of people talk about is the seating position. So 2 seating positions, a Formula position or a GT position. I made the mistake where at first I went into a Formula position thinking that the chair was pretty and it was going to look really cool, and it was, heck, it's the Formula position. You know, I've been a Formula 1 fan all my life, as I've talked about before, and being in that position just felt really cool. After 45 minutes of, I think it was a race at Watkins Glen, my back was completely destroyed. It was that day that I learned that maybe the prettiest thing is not the most convenient thing. Again, going back to my goals, I wanted to be able to race, and I wanted to be able to race competitively, and I had to have some sort of comfort for that. So it was that day after that that I made that switch from a Formula chair to a GT chair, and hands down, you know, I can spend a 3 or 4 hour stint in that chair with no problem. And we're braking with hydraulic pedals, so there's a lot of heavy braking that goes into it, and I just put a small cushion back there. My lower back has 0 issues now. Moving on into hardware. This is where a lot of people spend a lot of money. This is where YouTube does a really good job of showing all the product that's available, and people go crazy spending money on what looks pretty. I think that so many of us have done it, and I just got lucky to be put in a position to test all the product without having to buy it, and I've realized kind of what I look for, and that's software, performance, and build quality. Those 3 things are incredibly important to me. I want to be able to feel the performance of the wheel, obviously. From that, I want to be able to feel that the wheel was well made. It's got a heavy feel to it, and it's got good materials that look like they're going to last at least. And the last thing, at least on the steering wheel side, is the software. So there's a lot that you can do with software, and there's a lot that could be very overwhelming with software. Depending on what your goal with the simulator is, if you're trying to extract the most out of it, there's systems for that. If you just want something that's more turnkey, there's systems for that. And if you're looking to save money, there's systems for that. So look around, ask a question, leave a comment down below, and I'll be happy to answer any of those questions. The next thing I want to talk about is support. Specifically, the after-sales support is tremendously important, because I think that's going to determine where you're going to end up spending your money, what company you're going to end up working with. We're not talking about some toy that you can pick up and return and just get your money back. This is a commitment. It's an investment, and it's something that's going to eventually grow with you and be with you for a long time. So with that being said, you really want to work with somebody that's going to guide you through this. This isn't a toy, or this isn't some computer that you just plug into the wall and turn it on and go. I wish it was as easy as that, plug and play, but it's not. Being able to work with somebody that is going to be able to guide you through this, that's going to be the best way to get the most out of your simulator and get you to really understand your simulator and get the most out of it. Once you get to that point of being able to understand it completely, it's going to turn into something totally different. It's going to turn into your simulator, something that you're going to be able to use as that tool for training, or just be able to extract the most out of it and have the most fun with it. There's nothing scarier than wanting to get into something, investing time and money into something and not knowing if you're going to be able to use it, or knowing that if it breaks, am I going to be able to call somebody and get help? So when you're working here with us with Ricmotech, that's how it is. When you're getting a simulator from us, whether it's myself, Frank, or anybody else here at the shop, we're going to be able to guide you through this whole thing, whether we're remoting into your PC and getting you up and running or answering any questions. That's where our passion lies, is being able to get you to enjoy that thing as much as you can. The last thing I want to discuss is budget. So everybody has kind of an idea of what they want to spend. And if you don't, I've got a little list here of the different budget ranges that I've seen over the years and what that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and start here with, $3,000. It's going to get you something like a P1 chassis with Xbox or PS4 or PS5. You can use this with a single screen, Thrustmaster or a Logitech setup, so a belt-driven wheel, and just a basic shifter probably. So around $3,000, that's what that's going to get you. The next step after that I've seen is the $6,000 to $7,000 range, and that's going with the same exact cockpit, so the same bucket seat. You can also use it's a reclining chair, so if you want something a little bit more comfortable, there's that option. But with that price range, you're getting a PC-based simulator, allowing you to run something like iRacing, Assetto Corsa, and this cockpit, it's strong enough for a direct drive, so you can actually mount a really nice direct drive to it. Next price bracket after that is going to be the $12,000 to $15,000, and that's when you start looking at something like the APX or like a next level GT Elite, and that's a fully built rig. That's a fully built turnkey rig ready with a PC, the monitor, all of your essentials, so a steering system, a steering wheel, hydraulic pedals, potentially a shaker, and a button box. There's a lot that you can do with that budget, and certainly it's going to be a turnkey setup. Next after that, you're looking at between $22,000 and $25,000. That's going to be kind of like what's behind me here, and it's the same APX system, but this one has all the motion components. This one also has quite a bit of audio components as well, but the big ticket items are the motion. So the traction loss and the G-Sense, which are the active seat belts. So all of that adds up a little bit more, but something like that, you're getting yourself into something that you're going to be able to train in pretty much any discipline. If you want to look at rigs that are $100,000 and more, these are definitely cool. They're definitely kind of impressive to look at, but in my experience, all that motion just becomes a distraction. It's a cool experience maybe for flight simulators and if you really want to get thrown around in a race car, but at the end of the day, I think it's a little bit of a distraction. Maybe I'm getting too personal there. I use my simulator for being able to compete, and I want to be able to focus as much as I can. That's it for this one. Have a good one.